Our next guest has called out woke companies from Disney to American Express. And now Bloomberg says these woke companies are running scared. The man they're running scared from is Chris Rufo, and he joins me now. Do you have them running scared? And if so, how do we know this? What are they doing?
Well, I think what we've done is we've exposed critical race theory and radical gender theory in about 20 of the Fortune 100 companies. We've driven up negatives on companies like Disney, which suffered a catastrophic reputational loss as it was fighting with Ron DeSantis on their parental rights and education bill. And so we've shifted corporate culture. We know this from Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal. They don't want to get in the crosshairs of the anti-woke movement because they know it's bad for business. That's exactly what we've intended to do. We want companies to know you have to declare neutrality in the culture war, or we will come after you. We'll target your reputation. We'll target your CEOs in the realm of public opinion, and we'll drive down your business in a significant and meaningful way.
Has anybody tried to silence you?
They have, of course. I've been doing battle with the New York Times and the Washington Post, which paradoxically are now the great defenders of the large corporations in America. They're working together to try to suppress conservative or right-leaning viewpoints. But here's the thing. They can't stop me because I always come with the facts. I always substantiate my reporting with hard evidence. And what's happening in many companies is really against the values of a large majority of the American people. And so as long as we can keep reporting the truth, exposing this cultural malfeasance in our great companies, I think we'll continue to be successful.
Anti-oil, I guess they're climate activists. They just sprayed bright orange paint all over a Rolex store. I think it's in New York City. This is typical. We've seen a lot of this recently with priceless artworks, having stuff chucked on them. You call this civilizational suicide. You want to explain that?
I think it is exactly that on two fronts. Symbolically, they're going after the great fathers of Western civilization in the arts, Renoir, Cézanne, Van Gogh, all of the great inheritance that we have in the West. And then in a more tangible way, they're also going after abundant and cheap energy, which of course fuels the industrialized economy, fuels the everything from driving to home heating to being able to produce goods and services. And so they want to both destroy our heritage as an intellectual and aesthetic movement, but also destroy the great economic fortunes that we have in the West. These are petulant children in a kind of nihilistic revolt against their fathers, and we have to shut it down immediately.
Did you know that there is a billionaire somewhere, I'm not sure the name of this person, who has contributed a huge fund for these protesters? They'll bail them out of jail, they'll get them lawyers, they'll pay any fines they have to pay. This is outrageous because there's no sanction on these juveniles that are doing this kind of thing. Last word to you.
Yeah, my policy would be very simple. If you deface some of the great artworks of Western civilization, you should face severe penalties. If you deface a Van Gogh painting, you should sit in jail for a year and think it over. I think that would stop these spoiled kids quite quickly.
Good, and I believe it was George Soros who provided all this money. Chris Rufo, you're doing sterling work. Good stuff. Thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it.